Good morning, folks. So today we're going to do an hour of asana. We'll use a strap for some of it. So I just have this thing that ties up a yoga mat. You could use a dog leash, a towel, really anything. And then these other things I have nearby are just sweat towels. So let's start at the top of the mat. We'll bring the hands together, feet together. Take a deep breath in. And a full exhale. As you inhale, feel yourself get a little taller. And try to keep that height as you exhale. Just draw the belly in. Inhale, fill up the ribs in all directions. And when you exhale, lower your arms. Inhale to reach the arms overhead. Exhale to fold forward. Come halfway up for your inhale. Step back, find your plank position, exhale. Stay here for the inhale. Come all the way to the belly for the exhale. Untuck the toes, curl into cobra, inhale, elbows close to the ribs. Exhale, lower down, forehead to the floor. Curl the toes again, return to plank. Inhale. Press to downward dog, exhale. Stay here for a few breaths. Wiggle around however you need to, make it comfortable. If you have tight calves or hamstrings, you might want to have the heels up and the knees bent. For the next inhale, let's all lift the heels up. Some of you might already be like that. Exhale to bend the knees, look forward, and step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale when you get there, straighten the legs. Exhale to fold some amount. Rise up, inhale. We'll just fold again for the exhale. Halfway up for the inhale. Step into that plank for your exhale. We'll do the same thing we did before. Inhale to stay here. Slowly lower to the belly. Try to get hips and chest to land at the same time. Untuck the toes. Cobra, inhale. Lower down, exhale. Curl the toes, push to plank. Inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Stay there for a few breaths. I'm going to re-angle my mat a little bit, but you're fine. Just stay like that. Straight arms. And you decide if your legs can be straight today or not. Okay, heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward and jump. Inhale there at the top of the mat. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale, reach up, look up. Arms by the sides, exhale. Let's interlace the fingers. I'm just going to face you, but you're fine. And push up through the palms so that the wrists are flipped. And as you're doing this, you'll be able to keep your arms a little straighter than maybe if they were on their own. We'll inhale your palms to the ceiling. Exhale, reach out to one side. Push your hips opposite that. Inhale through center again, as tall as you can. Exhale the other direction. Hips opposite hands. Inhale through center. One more time to each side. Exhale to that side bend. Inhale, belly in, reach up high. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale, come through center. Release the hands and fold, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Step to plank for the exhale. Stay here for the inhale. Just a chaturanga for the exhale. So we'll stay lifted off the ground. Come to the top of the foot, upward facing dog. Knees are still lifted. Exhale, downward dog. So it's not that different than when you came to your belly. And then if your hips stay on the floor, just takes a little more control. If it hurts in any way, repeat what we did earlier. Okay, heels high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward and jump. Inhale there at the top. Exhale to fold. Bend into the knees. Lift the arms. Inhale. Stay here and either just get your palms to touch each other or interlace the fingers and try pulling the arms up. So the right fingers are going to help you lift the left arm higher. The left fingers will help you lift the right arm. They cooperate. Next, exhale, fold forward, release the grip, straight leg. Inhale, halfway up. Step or jump, chaturanga. We just go right into it for the exhale. Upward facing dog for the inhale. Downward dog for the exhale. Relax your neck, just loose. Spread the toes. We're going to do a lot of back bends today, and you'll find that your toes are more important than you thought. Sometimes we only think about them when we stub them and they hurt. But in yoga, we have to think about them quite often. Okay, heels up, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward, step or jump. Inhale at the top. Exhale to fold. Bend into the knees. Inhale, reach up, look up, palms together if you can. We'll just fold again for the exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, halfway up. Chaturanga for the exhale. Step or jump back, lower down. Inhale to the top of the foot. Lift the chest, open the throat. Exhale, downward dog. When you get there, right leg up to the ceiling. Inhale. Step forward to the hands. Exhale. Lower the back knee. Untuck the back toes and reach up. So either palms together or that interlaced grip where your pointer finger goes up. We call that steeple mudra. Or if your shoulders feel tight today, just have your arms apart. No big deal. But as you're reaching up, your hips are moving down. One more breath. And then your exhale, release your hands to the floor, step back and bend the elbows. That all happens in the same exhale. Inhale to your back bend, pressing into the top of the foot. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg high. Inhale. Step forward, exhale. This is Anjaneyasana, right knee down, right toes untucked, and we reach up. There's a million arm positions for this pose. This is only one of them. If it hurts you in any way, modify it, arms out, arms bent. But really the goal of this pose is to loosen up our hips, hip flexors. You're just letting your hips move down and forward while your shoulders and hands move up and back. Okay, release the hands down, step back, chaturanga. We just bend the elbows about 90 degrees. Come to the top of the foot for upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. High lunge, inhale to reach up. We'll twist to the right, hook our left elbow outside of that right leg. We'll let that arm slide as far over as it will go so that we're pretty well hooked, arm to leg. Then we can get our thumbs right to the center of the chest and look up. It's a great stretch for that right hip. Take just 2 more breaths. Back leg straight. And let's untwist. Place the hands, step back, lower down on your exhale. Lift the chest, upward facing dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Left leg up high, inhale. Step the foot between the hands, exhale. You need a pretty long stance here, so if your foot didn't land between your hands, just move it forward more. And we'll twist hook that right arm outside the left leg. The forearms are stacked in a straight line. We're trying to look up and see the ceiling that's right above our head. Our left leg is pushing into the arm. Okay, slowly unravel. Step back on your exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Heels up high, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward, step or jump. Whenever you're there, inhale. Fold, exhale. Bend into the knees, inhale. This is Utkatasana, Ut is upward. So think of reaching up, your chest up, even the arches of your feet up. So we'll keep the knees bent, twist to your right, just like you did before, but now you have your feet together, knees together. Otherwise, it's the same feeling of pushing that right hand down, of pushing that right knee into the arm. Okay, let's look down. We'll keep our twist. Keep pushing the right leg into the arm. Just step your left foot back. So you wind up in that same twisted lunge we did before. Keep the twist and lower the left knee to the floor. Either stay here or left hand down, right hand up. Either stay there or the right hand will just help you get your left arm under the leg. I just put the fingers on the forearm and just give it a little nudge so that you can bind. Binding is not for everyone, so you decide, and when you're ready, lift the back knee again. 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. We'll slowly unravel. Step through your vinyasa, so that's exhaling to chaturanga. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhaling to downward dog. Heels up for an inhale. Bend the knees. Exhale and jump. Inhale whenever you're there. Fold, exhale. Utkatasana. Knees bend, arms up. So even though our butt is going down, the overall feeling of the pose is up. And let's twist, hook your right arm. I undo the prayer position in order to get my arm further hooked, and then I just put the prayer back. We'll try to work on pressing the knees together, the leg into the arm into the leg, and the hands together. So it's all those points of tension that keep us balanced. Let's look down, because balance will be much easier for our stepping back if we're looking down. When you're ready, lower your back knee down to the floor. If you want, lower your right hand to the floor. If your right hand is close but doesn't actually touch, you can put it on a block. But really the idea is get your armpit close to your leg. You can have your arms open or bind underneath that leg. And the hands will hold near your right hip. You can curl your back toes again, lift your back knee. You'll notice the deeper you twist, the more you have to think about your breath. Okay, slowly unravel, vinyasa. Step back and lower to yoga push-up, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Make sure your neck is not tense, your arms are straight, your fingers are spread, and you're using your pointer finger knuckles pretty nicely. Otherwise, you'll end up with too much weight in your wrist. Okay, right leg up high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. High lunge. Just lift the arms, all 10 toes will face front. And open up to warrior 2. Spin that back heel to the floor. Inhale to straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend. One more time. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. We'll place the elbow on the thigh. Left arm over the ear. Or put your right hand down on the floor or a block. And we stay here and breathe. We gaze at that left hand and we reach it away from us. The hard part is that while we're reaching it away, we still keep that left arm in the socket. We're going to turn this into triangle pose. So we'll just sweep that left arm up to the ceiling, straighten the front leg. You might want to shorten your stance a little bit, just creep your back foot in. I like to put my right hand in yogi toe lock grip on the big toe. First 2 fingers and thumbs make a circle around that big toe. Sometimes folks like fingertips on the ground, or hand on a block, hand on the shin. Any of those are fine so long as your leg is straight. Okay, let's lower the hands, bend into that front leg, and just step back, vinyasa. We're going to do all of that on the other side. So from downward dog, we'll lift our left leg up high for an inhale. Step forward so that the toes line up with the fingertips. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale to warrior 2. Inhale to straighten the front leg. So here we have a heel to arch alignment. So adjust your feet as needed. Exhale, bend the front leg. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. That's just to get out some of the cracks and pops. Elbow to thigh. This is Partha-Konasana. Right arm sweeps out. Decide what you want to do with your left hand. Keep your back leg straight. Think about that pinky side of your foot on that right foot pressing down so that the entire sole of your foot has a roll. Okay, into triangle. However you want to sweep that arm up, do that. Whatever you want to do with that left hand, so long as the legs are straight. You have a bent leg to get this toe grip. It's a different pose and it's not worth it. So if your hamstring is tight or injured or whatever, err on the side of your hand being real high. Over time, it will go low. Part of the yoga lessons is keep your ego in check. Okay, we'll take it through vinyasa. We'll lower the hands, step back, exhale to bend the elbows. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Let's come onto the knees for a moment so that we can lower to the elbows. Measure it out so that you can wrap your fingers around the edge of your upper arm. And keep your elbows there, interlace your fingers, and lift the knees. This is dolphin pose. If you're tight in your shoulders, your feet are going to be pretty far back, away from your elbows. As you're able, walk your feet in closer to your elbows. Your butt is going to lift up higher. And you're going to have to work really hard to push into the edge of your hand so that your head stays off the ground. Because dolphin pose is not a headstand in any way. The head is up. So that requires a lot of flexibility and strength through the shoulder. So if your feet came in a bunch, walk them back out so that you can come down to your knees again. We'll keep the elbows where they are, but we'll place the palms flat so that the forearms are parallel to each other. We'll lift the knees. Now this is down dog B. Same idea as dolphin. If it's too hard, just walk your feet back. If it's too easy, walk your feet in. And just notice how much work it is to push into your hands so that your head stays off the ground and so that your hands don't migrate toward each other. They stay right in front of your elbows. Okay, walk to your normal down dog stance and bend the knees to the floor again so that you can just straighten the arms. That was difficult. Okay, downward dog. After all of that, down dog is super easy. Okay, right leg high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. Anjaneyasana, same thing you did before, back knee down, untuck the toes, hands to that right thigh. And just sink the hips down and forward, as if your right sitting bone is trying to touch your right heel. Okay. If you can handle more and you can do more with the upper body, but keeping that downward trajectory of the hips, then take your arms to robot. Palms face each other. Elbows are going to press back. I like to roll the shoulders here. It just helps me feel like the elbows are reaching further back. You can do that once or every breath if you want. You can keep your elbows pressing back or fingertips down to the floor right under your hips. The throat stays open. Okay, vinyasa. Or if you're getting tired of vinyasa, just go to downward dog because it will finish there. That's always a safe place to meet up with the flow. Left leg high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Lower the right knee down. And just place the hands on that thigh or knee and just encourage this forward down trajectory. As you're bringing your left sitting bone toward your heel, just be wary of that tendency to spin over to the side and kind of steer open. You need to keep your right hip moving forward as much as your left. It will be a little bit sensational through here, especially if you're a runner or you sit for work. This area will be a little bit more tight, maybe. Okay. Robot arms if you choose. Roll the shoulders back so you can get the elbows back, as if they're going to touch the wall behind you. Or lower the forearms down, but it's the same shoulder thing. Whether you choose to lower your forearms down or keep them up, the shoulder's the same. If your fingers are not quite touching the floor, you might need to do a little more back bend for the upper back, or you might need to bend your front knee a little deeper. But it can't be rushed. Your body's on its own schedule. It doesn't care what you want. Just go easy. Okay, hands to the floor, vinyasa, or downward dog. Okay, we'll come to hands and knees again. This time anahatasana. So we'll walk the hands forward until we feel like we can bring our forehead to the floor or the chin to the floor. Your butt will be sticking up. Some of you are even going to get your chest to the floor. And we want to feel this a lot through the armpits, the chest, and the throat. Try to minimize the low back bend by bringing your tailbone just slightly more in the direction of your heels. Okay, there's no great way out of this, so just kind of slither forward. We're going to meet in a forearm plank. I'm just backing up a little bit because I wound up off the mat, which happens sort of all the time, especially in primary series because there's all those jumping throughs and etc. So I end up off the mat a lot. So here we are in a forearm plank. Hopefully you're breathing okay. If you're breathing erratically, just put your knees down. Take 2 more breaths. We're going to turn it into down dog B. Walk the feet in, your butt will lift up. Use your fingers to push your chest and armpits back toward your legs. The more you can use your fingers and the more your chest gets toward your legs, the easier it's going to be now to straighten your arms. We're going to try to straighten right and left at the same time. So they just gently rise off the ground. Okay, right leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Warrior 1. Hardest pose of all time. So you can either do that steeple mudra thing we did before, which is going to help you get your arms straight, or bend your right elbow and hold the elbow with your left hand and try to get your fingers near your shoulder blades. And your left hand can either stay on your elbow or you'll reach it behind you and swoop it up under so your fingers can hold in the vicinity of your shoulder blades. took that grip where your elbow, right elbow is pointing up, push your head back into your right arm. Regardless of what you've chosen to do with your arms, keep it. We're going to lower the back knee into that Anjaneyasana form. And just see if you have a different thought about it now than what you did earlier. Okay, slowly release your hands. Vinyasa. So when we think of back bends, often we think of just our spine, but really, to do back bends well, we need our shoulders quite open, our hip flexors and quads quite open. Okay, left leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands, exhale. Warrior one. So this is heel to heel alignment. The back foot about 45 degrees, front foot facing straight front. Adjust your feet as needed. If this is not comfortable for your back, just lift your back heel so that you have a little less strain. So either steeple mudra arms or Gomukhasana arms, which is left elbow facing up, right elbow facing down. You can deal with either arm first. You could just do one arm. So keep lifting the chest up. Keep drawing the pubic bone toward the belly button. And just start to turn it into your Anjaneyasana positioning. Back knee down, toes untucked. We're trying to bend that front knee more and more as our top elbow or our hands goes up and back. Okay, slowly get out of there. Vinyasa. Let's lift the right leg up high. Inhale. Step forward to the hands. Exhale. Quarter turn to the left. So it's just a hand over hand. We'll pivot that right foot so it faces the long edge of the mat. Slide the hands back so they're somewhat between the heels. Inhale. And head down toward the ground. Exhale. This is Prasarita Padottanasana A. Really nice for the hamstrings. The hamstrings are going to do a lot of work for you today because in a back bend, they are very responsible. You're stretching the front side of your body, so you're working the back side of your body. Okay, inhale to straight arms. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale to rise up. You stay put, I'm just flipping myself around for the sake of the camera. We'll reach out, inflate, and we'll interlace the fingers behind the back. Lift the chest as we straighten the arm, and then fold forward and start to let the arms come overhead. This is Prasarita Padottanasana C. Really nice for the shoulders. I need to bend my elbows often in order to roll the shoulders more open, kind of alternating sides, and then I re-straighten the arms. Some folks, their pinky fingers come to the ground. Some of us float in space. Either way is fine. Just engage your quads so that your hamstrings can stretch. Okay. We'll inhale just halfway up. Place the hands down on the floor so that you can walk yourself again to the top of the mat and either vinyasa or downward dog. Okay, let's jump through, have a seat, or however you want to get to your butt. I'm just going to move my computer down here because it is my only form of a clock. Okay, so here we are with the legs extended out. This is Dandasana, mother of all sitting poses. Just think about how strong your legs are here. Press your calf muscles into the ground, flex your feet, pull your pinky toes back towards you with your brain power. Inhale to reach up as high as you can. Exhale to fold forward. Just a few breaths in Paschimottanasana. Each inhale, you can lengthen. Each exhale, you can go a bit with gravity. Just notice if your legs are starting to kind of tune out when you fold. Ideally, you keep them as strong as they were when you were just sitting in Dandasana. Okay, inhale your way up. And let's bring our hands behind the back for reverse tabletop. So we'll bend the knees, press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips, press into your fingers, lift your chest. You can either look at your knees, the ceiling, or drop your head back. Okay, slowly come on down. So some of you probably felt that in the shoulders a lot. Potentially repeat that, or if you want to make it worse, by worse I just mean harder, straighten the legs, point your toes and glue your legs together. So you're literally, instead of just kind of in, you're gluing, pushing in. So it's like you have one leg. That will help a lot. Purvottanasana. Same hands as what you did before. And either your knees are bent for tabletop or your legs are straight for Purvottanasana. Opening through the whole front of the body by engaging the whole back of the body. Okay, come on down. Ooh-wee, that pose never gets easier. Cross your ankles, step back, vinyasa. That pose comes in primary series about 33 minutes into primary series. And it's a doozy. Okay, inhale forward to plank. Exhale all the way down to your belly. Shalabhasana C. So this is combining some stuff you've already done. Legs glued together. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Lift the chest and shoulders. Pretend you're reaching your knuckles toward your heels. Press your pubic bone down. And if it's appropriate for you, start to lift your legs. I'm trying to keep the legs straight, glued together. Throat open, breath calm. Okay, come on down. Hands under the shoulders. Curl into upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Shake out the head. Okay, right leg up high, inhale. Step to the hands. Just like you did before, Anjaneyasana. This time we're going to add on a bit. So this front foot will turn out to the side, about 45-degree angle. Both hands inside of the foot, so that your knee can start to drop open, away from your torso. And that will be different for everyone how much. You might move an inch, it might move a lot. If you can, maybe come to your forearms. And just make sure that this right ankle is not tweaked or bent in any way. So the inner edge of my foot is coming off the ground, but only because the knee is pretty far away. So I try to keep the ball of this right foot down sort of as long as possible. So if this is enough, stay here. If you want more, bend your back foot, or back knee rather. Reach for the foot with the right hand. So it's a twist. And pull that heel in toward your butt. There's a lot happening here. So pick and choose what you deal with if you don't want to do all of it at the same time. That's why we practice 5 to 6 days a week, is because you can only deal with so much at a time. Okay, slowly get out of there. Either vinyasa or downward dog. We're just going to head over to the other side. So when you get to downward dog, you'll lift your left leg up high, and you'll step it forward to the hands. You'll turn your left foot out to the side, have our right knee down. And we'll just play with letting that knee drop open. Show you the front view just in case you've never seen this before. So here you would be ball of foot down, and then the foot turns out, and the knee drops open. Like that. Feels good. So if you want more, you come to the forearms. If you still want more, you reach for your foot. It's possible that you want to reach for your foot, but it's too far away. You could use your strap in that instance. So we want to try to get our shoulders and hips loose enough that when we go to do back bends, we don't have back pain. Okay, slowly get out of there, either vinyasa or downward dog. And from downward dog, we'll come forward to virasana. So I just jump onto the toenails and then slide onto the shins. Move the calf muscles just a little bit out of the way and have a seat. You might want to sit on a block or a series of books or a couch pillow. The great thing about practicing at home is you have all of these things at your disposal. So you could stay here or you could start to walk your hands back. As you're going back, keep tucking your tailbone. Because we're not trying to get a big back bend here in the low back. What we're actually trying to do is stretch through quads and hip flexors. So you should feel it on your thighs. No back pain. One way to ensure that you feel it in the right spot is push into your toenails. Even your pinky toenail, which you probably forgot existed. For a long time, I did this pose one leg at a time. So you might have to pause the video, do one leg, then the other. Knees are very sensitive, so go easy with this pose especially. Okay, we'll start to come on up, and we'll just meet in downward dog. So the hands just come in front of the knees. You can step back, make sure your knees still work. Okay, rock forward to plank. And exhale, lower down to the belly. Shalabhasana A. So we already did C. We're going to just have our knuckles this time next to our thighs, arms straight, chest and shoulders up, legs up if you can or if you want to. And err on the side of having the legs low but straight. Sometimes we get real excited about up and we bend our knees. Push the pubic bone down so you get a little more anchor. Okay, hands under the shoulders. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Rock forward, inhale. Come on down to your belly. Dhanurasana, sort of the same concept of extending chest forward, legs back, except that we are going to bend our knees and hold our ankles. We'll kick into the hands. So we're reaching the chest forward as it comes up, and we're kicking the feet back as they come up. If you have any pain here, separate your feet quite wide, maybe even flex your feet. Okay, slowly come on down. Hands under the shoulders. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Okay, get your strap ready. We're going to bring our right leg forward to Anjaneyasana. These days I like to lift up first and then step forward. Okay, so left knee down. Hands are going to go on this strap. I don't bother to loop it. Some people do. I just have this straight piece of fabric, basically. So we're going to loop this fabric on the back foot. Just put it on there somehow. Left hand to the strap. And I'm going to face this way. Okay. So our left elbow is close to the ribs. We're going to keep it close as we start to pull this foot closer to our butt. Now this left elbow will face front, and then it will face up. The right hand can stay on your knee. It can go to the floor for some balance support, or it can also reach back. And oh gosh, my left thigh is on fire. Some of you might walk your hands all the way to your toes. I'm not doing that, but you're welcome to. Okay, and we'll slowly slip that away. And we'll try the other side. So you decide to do vinyasa between sides or not. Sometimes that is a nice way to make sure that your back is still healthy and that your breath is still steady. And we'll meet with the left leg in front Right knee down. That strap on that right foot. Okay. And then it's quite important what you do with the elbow because you need your shoulder to be happy. So you can't really let the elbow stray from your side body. So just keep it in close. Decide what you want to do with your left hand. And remember how in Anjaneyasanas, you were trying to bend your front knee a lot. There's a lot happening here, so you might be distracted, but that was really the essence of your Anjaneyasanas before. So it stays with the same essence. We're just kind of adding on. Hips are moving forward and down. Elbows are moving back. Okay, slowly let that go. We will do more with the strap, but for now you can just kind of kick it off to the side of your mat. And either vinyasa or downward dog. Okay, let's jump onto the shins again, like we did before. And we'll start with our butt down, like we did before, but momentarily our butt will be lifting. Some of you will find this easier than the other version. We're going to start it the same way. Walk back, probably onto the elbows, and bring your hands to your heels. Your elbows are sort of closer to your toes. Now lift your hips and drop your head. So you'll be on the crown of your head. You can keep your elbows there for support, or you can reach back and see your fingers, or you can hold the opposite elbow and start to pull your forearms down. The more you can push into your toes and top of foot, the higher your hips are going to go, the more this will stretch. One more breath here. We're going to melt it down into Supta Virasana, which is where you were before. Keep your feet working. And now it's all of a sudden not as bad as it was before, proving that everything is relative. Okay, let's come on up. Vinyasa, if you have it in you. Okay. Let's come forward onto the shins. This time for Ustrasana, camel. Let's start with the toes curled this time. We're going to do it twice. The first time we'll do it with our feet like this. Hands to the hips. Nudge your hips forward. Lift your chest up. And pretend your elbows want to touch each other. Notice how much more that nudges your chest up. Either stay here or reach for your heels. 4 and 5. We'll rise up. It's a lot easier to count to 5 if I'm not in the pose with you, so I sound like kind of a monster, but Ustrasana is hard. Okay, let's do it one more time. This time with the feet untucked. Unless that was hard, and then do that again. When you're ready, hands to the hips. Hips forward, chest up, and hips forward the whole time, if possible. If you have a wall there, you can even glue your pelvis to the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll rise up. Vinyasa. Okay. Let's bring our right leg into pigeon. I'm going to face you for just a moment though. Instead of having this front leg somewhat parallel to the top of the mat with this big gap here between your foot and your hip, instead of that, bring your foot in close so that it's almost heel to sitting or heel to hip bone. That's just going to make this next thing a little bit easier. Let's take our strap, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. Just lap it around that left foot. Bring that left elbow in, then forward, then up. Right hand potentially is your balance, or have it join the strap. So this pose takes a lot of leg strength so that you don't wind up falling over onto your right hip. Keep your elbows in close. And we'll slowly let that go. And let's get out of it by sort of cheating for a moment. Rock onto that right hip so that you can bring that left leg around. And we'll just go for Janu Shirsasana A. Right foot to left inner thigh. Inhale for height. And exhale to fold forward. So we have about a 90-degree spacing here between our thighs. And here as we're folding forward, we know we're not done with back bends because we still have at least pigeon on the other side. We're just going to try to bring our belly in, our right armpit toward our left ankle. Just get a little bit of more length, maybe a moment to relax the erector muscles on the back. Okay, and let's rise up. However you'd like to transfer to the other side, do that. I'm just going to take a little vinyasa and find my pigeon from downward dog. But it's really choreography, so anyway, we'll get you there. Left leg forward. One of the reasons I practice Ashtanga is that there is no real choreography. We go through a sequence, the same sequence every day. Okay, so our left heel is close to our right hip, and we reach around. When you're ready, you let that right elbow move forward and up. Left arm joins the party maybe. It's an interesting experiment in the differences of sides. Okay, we'll slowly get out of there. We'll rock to that left hip so we can swing the right leg around for Janu Shirsasana A. Left sole of foot to right upper thigh. Reach, inhale, fold, exhale. And this right leg is super straight. The calf muscle is pressing down, quads are engaged, foot is flexed. And let's rise up. Make your way through your vinyasa or somehow come to your back, because we'll do a few back bends now from our backs. However you want to get there is a good way. So once you're down on your back, bend your knees so that your heels are very close to your butt. If they're out here somewhere, it's going to be pretty hard for you to lift your hips high enough. So heels close to you. Let's do robot arms like what we did before. Palms face in. Push into your elbows. Push into your feet. And as you keep pushing into your elbows, you're going to feel like your chest is trying to touch your chin. And we're going to use the back of the head pushing into the floor to make sure that the chin does not actually get touched. Instead, the throat stays open. Okay, slowly come on down. You can repeat that, or we'll find Urdhva Dhanurasana. Hands by the shoulders, elbows face up. If you find that your elbows are bowing out, you might need to walk your hands further apart. So I have my pinky fingers basically dangling over the edge of my mat to ensure that I can keep my elbows up. When you're ready, straight arms. We're all going to have our hands placed a little bit differently because we all have different shoulders, but you do have to find what works for you so that you're able to keep your shoulders nice and safe and comfortable as you come into this. Okay, come on down. This next one we're going to do will include a little bit of rocking forward and back. So when you come up, you're going to use your legs extra to bring your chest through, and then a little bit relax. And then lots of legs, and then a little bit relax. And just do that a few times. You're going to notice when your knees are bent more, you use your hands more. Okay, come on down. That rocking is really a prep for standing up from back bend, which we won't be doing right now. But we are going to practice weight distribution a little bit. So let's come up again, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Press into your feet so your chest goes through your arms. And bring your right knee to your chest. Extend your right leg up to the ceiling. And bring it back down to the floor. Left knee to the chest. Leg up to the ceiling. Foot down to the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Coming down to your back. So if that like almost worked, but not quite, just pause the video, try it again. Because that's one of those things where your mind is going to say to your limb, move. And the limb may not move right away, but it will eventually. Okay, so next round, we're just going to try to lift one hand at a time. That's going to require your legs to continuously push your chest through your arms. So let's come up to Urdhva Dhanurasana. Keep working your legs. And when you can, come to the fingertips of one hand. And if that's going well, bring that hand to the thigh. And lower the hand down again. Come to the fingertips of the other hand. If that's okay, hand to the thigh. And hand down again, inhale. And all the way down to your back, exhale. Okay, try that again. If you need to, just pause the video. You could try it a million times. When you're ready, hands to the kneecaps. Inhale to push your thighs away. Exhale, pull them in close. And again, inhale, push. Exhale, pull. One more time. Okay. So however you want to sit up, do that. Some of you will rock side to side. Some of you will rock forward and back. Anyway, is fine. Once we're sitting, we'll take the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. Hold on to the feet. For this one, we're going to interlace the fingers around the toes. Let the shoulders move back so you're just sitting up real straight. Take a breath here. We'll start to move through a few little cat-cows with this leg position. So inhale to lift your chest, lift your chin, and exhale to round. Just do a few like that. The range will change as you proceed through it. Okay, so we'll go for Baddha Konasana A. So the sitting up one is C. We're just going to hinge at the hip. So our back is going to stay pretty much this neutral. We're just going to hinge at the hip so our chest moves toward our toes. And our head is somewhere out there in front. When I start to feel the edge in this pose, I try to draw the belly in a little more. That gives an extra few inches. Okay, we'll rise up. We'll slide the feet forward basically to about where your head would have landed. Big diamond shape here. And tuck the chin a bit and start to bring the top of your head toward the arches of your feet. And as you're there, draw the belly in so that your mid-back will round. Okay, we'll rise up, straighten the legs like you did in Dandasana. We're going to add some twisting. So you're pretty much symmetrical here. Your feet are like on a plane. If you had a wall there, they would be equal on the wall. We're going to try to keep that. Reach your arms out, inhale. Twist to the right, exhale. You might have to think about pushing your right foot forward a bit. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist right. So you should feel your right obliques working a little bit there. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale through center. And let's just reach forward. Tuck the chin. Pretend someone just smacked you in the belly or punched you in the belly, more like, so that your back starts to round. And when you feel comfortable, reach forward toward your feet. And then when you feel comfortable, uncurl a little bit. So now your chest and head can reach forward and maybe you look forward. That's just a way to get into this forward bend that helps us find that Uddiyana Bandha. Again, it's choreography. You could get into this pose a million ways. You just find a way that suits you. Okay, we'll rise up. Let's vinyasa. And we're going to find our way to a headstand, which is a nice neutral back, but it might not be for everyone. So I'll show you kind of step one of the headstand and you decide how high up you go. So, and if you know it, just go into it, ignore me. Lower down like you did for dolphin, measure it out, interlace your fingers, and lift your knees. So you're in dolphin maybe for 3 years before you even attempt headstand. When you're ready, walk your feet in a little bit more, place your head. Walk your feet in a little more. You could bring your knees in toward your chest and just make sure you can curl into a little ball. I can see my feet here. So if I fall, I just end up right where I started with the feet on the mat. It's very safe. So being able to stay here is pretty important for not just your strength, but also your confidence. And when you feel more confident, you start to lift your butt, lift your legs. I like to squeeze the legs together. Gives my brain something to think about so I don't realize how precarious otherwise this might be. And if you're keeping your feet on the ground, it's really great work to just practice walking them in a little bit. If you get tired, you walk them back again. You'll notice after doing that for a few months, a lot of things become possible. Those of you all the way up, you're going to keep your legs straight, lower them down to a place where you can see your toes. Lift the legs up again to what you think is probably vertical. It's hard to know exactly. That's why we go to class, so that our teachers can yell at us. Let's bring the knees to the chest, and we'll meet in child's pose. Arms can be in front of you or by your sides. If we still had more back bends to do, I would have us keep our arms in front of us. But we are basically at the end of the hour, so you might want to have your arms beside you, and it will not negatively impact any of your back bends because you're done with them. Okay, let's slowly roll up. We'll have a seat in something cross-legged. Okay, I'm doing decently on time. Maybe lotus, maybe not, doesn't matter. When you get where you're going, just place your hands next to your hips so that you're real tall and supported. Keeping all of that, just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. You're not leaning at all. All that moved was your head. So you just get a stretch through the left side of your neck. Depending on your tightness, I feel this sometimes all the way down the upper back. Let's angle the chin toward the shoulder. Ow. Let's roll the chin to the chest. And just sit up. We'll just do the other side, left ear. You might have to push your right hand down more to feel something. If you do have any shoulder pain, it might be something as simple as these stretches to get it done with. Bring chin to shoulder. Chin to chest. And head up again. Okay, so those of you who are in lotus, right foot first, then left foot, right? So now if you're in lotus, your feet are very high up, right in that hip crease. You're going to take your left arm, whip it around your back, and grab hold of your left toes, but they're on the right side of your body. So it's kind of a mind game here. Try to solidify that pretty well, and your right arm is going to come around and hold on to your right toes. So you're pretty much crossing your forearms or elbows. Inhale and fold forward for the exhale. If that is not for you, just take hold of opposite elbows and fold forward. Take 2 more breaths. And we'll slowly rise up. We'll lean back just a teeny bit so that we can get the knees off the ground. And wrap your arms around your legs. And this is fine whether you're lotus or not. It's the same deal. You're just bringing your knees in towards your shoulders. In a moment, we're going to lift up to Uttitihi, and we're going to try to keep our knees up. It's not going to really work out so great, not like this, but we're going to keep them as high as we can. So we'll place our hands down in front of the hips, not next to the hips. Hands in front, lean forward into the hand, and lift your butt. We'll just stay for 10 breaths. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come on down, unravel your legs. So that was designed to really engage all of your muscles so that now in Shavasana, you can relax all of your muscles. So just let the legs open up. If you have any back pain, instead of having the legs out like this, bring the soles of your feet down about mat's width and drop the knees in. That feels really good too. In your Shavasana, you just want to do something that you can stay in comfortably for a few minutes. Try not to skip this pose. I know you're tempted to turn off the video and go away because you have a busy day. This is where you learn how to deal with aging, with death, with slowing down. Take a few more breaths here. If you want a longer Shavasana, just turn off the video and stay as long as you want. Let's start to wiggle fingers and toes. Bring the knees to the chest. Roll over onto your right side in the fetal position. Make your right arm into a pillow. Very little effort. Sit up. Keep the eyes closed. There's nothing to see. Just cross your legs somehow comfortably. Bring the hands to prayer in front of the chest. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Do that one more time. Inhale. See if you can sip in a little extra at the top of the breath. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, bring the hands up a little higher, thumb between the eyebrows. And fold forward on your exhale. This just helps seal in your practice. Namaste. You can ask questions through the comments or text or email me. Thanks, y'all.